Since before the invention of the wheel, humans have learned to create tools to improve their chances of survival. Technology is not necessarily new, but represents the lineage of inventions dating back hundreds and thousands of years. But as of more recently, the growth of technology appears exponential and its applications endless. We now communicate on a global scale, produce transistors only nanometers wide, use nuclear fission to generate electricity, and the list of innovations goes on. However, technology is not without its flaws, and more than ever are we experiencing its negative consequences. Industrial society and the technology it heavily depends on result in widespread depression, waste of resources, loss of freedoms and purpose, as well as a general loss of touch with nature. Additionally, its trajectory suggests that the best and worst is yet to come. That begs the question, are the advancements of today worth the sacrifices of tomorrow? Theodore John Kaczynski, aka the Unabomber, and others propose that prioritizing technological improvement as a society is fundamentally flawed. However, not all technology is equal. There are what Kaczynski calls small-scale and large-scale technologies. Local, self-powered, and self-governed technology, such as dumb hand tools, mechanical bikes, or wood-burning stoves, are small-scale technology, equipment which does not depend on third parties. These are the technologies that offer minimal downside, but they are few and far between in today's day and age. Then, there are the technologies afforded to us by industrial society, such as electricity, Wi-Fi, phones, cars, planes. These are the technologies that come with great drawbacks, as their survival requires mass organization, meaning that as infrastructure of society grows, people become more and more dependent on the system. Tech societies promote a standard of living where individuals consume far more than they produce. While we may point to various technologies as opportunity-creating platforms, efficient machines, or even life-saving tools, a quick step back reveals that the vast majority of our jobs are each just a small contribution to maintaining the industrial system. This isn't necessarily bad, as it seems easy to argue that life in a modern city has more to offer than living like nomads who have no movies to watch or games to play. But what Kaczynski and others have argued is that life as a human would likely be more free and fulfilling if we focused on generating societies that do not prioritize technological advancement. The most obvious example would be something like the Amish, who pursue what you may call a simpler way of life, and by doing so, they are likely more in tune with nature and who they are as humans. But on the other hand, emergency hospitals are a blessing, and refrigerators are also great. So can we have our cake and eat it too? While technology offers many benefits to the human experience, it can be used to harm the human experience just as easily. From weapons of mass destruction to artificial market fluctuations that spoil earnings to the decline of the human attention span, technology is a double-edged sword, and you can't separate the good from the bad. For example, the government has a strong incentive to pursue continuous technological progress. This is great if you happen to be a tech conglomerate, but on the other side of that coin is what is becoming more apparent. Modern man is strapped down by a network of rules and regulations, and his fate depends on the actions of persons remote from him, whose decisions he cannot influence. We no longer focus on local politics, and our focus on people we will never meet has meant that we lose local power in favor of relying on the greater system. The more technology advances, the more it supports the system we develop, and thus the more power people lose. Additionally, without completely separating from the system, you must adapt to its ever-changing ecosystem. If you do not conform to the new tech standards, you will be left behind. It's not required by law, but the average person has a phone, most people have an email, and entire lives are lived on the internet. Social systems are not adjusted to suit the needs of human beings, rather, human beings adjust to suit the needs of the system. Whenever a new standard is reached, it appears rational. Why wouldn't you want to have a computer in your pocket? Why wouldn't you want to drive a car that can travel for hundreds of miles? Often when new technology is able to reach mainstream audiences, it creates artificial stresses on those without and leaves them no option but to adopt the new wave. The way things are going, AI will likely become so much more competent at everything than any human who ever lived. So follows what Kaczynski said. the human race might easily permit itself to drift into a position of such dependence on the machines that it would have no practical choice but to accept all of the machine's decisions. And again, when this point is reached, humans will not be able to imagine living without such calculated leaders. Today is ancient history in comparison. If a machine is able to manufacture lasting peace, end hunger, cease pain, conquer death, and allow free expression all at once, will this only generate a new normal, a new standard from which joy will be even harder to find? It seems by solving all our problems, the future may become stale. Whereas in the past, small communities worked together to satisfy their hunger and thirst on a daily basis through means of agriculture and hunting, food, water, shelter, and information especially are now more abundant than ever. That's not to say that there aren't people starving, even in Western societies, but industrial society has made the process of preparing a meal so efficient, they have removed most of, if not all of the nutrition from the food. Likewise, shelter is so abundant in major cities that people live stacked upon one another. And instead of uniting people, having a mass of people so physically close together seems to push them away from one another. We walk by people on the street on a daily basis, so much so that every new face feels less and less special. Subconsciously, this causes people to care less and less for their neighbors. And while online communication has brought many closer together, the flood of new data uploaded to the internet every day means that the truth is often suppressed, and the constant search for something new not only desensitizes us, but slowly limits our ability to be stimulated. While Kaczynski wasn't the first person to suggest that the road of technological advancements could lead us to disaster, he did popularize the idea, and what he had to do to ensure his ideas would have any relevance is a perfect example of the consequences of modern abundance. In his own words, in order to get our message before the public with some chance of making a lasting impression, we've had to kill people. We cannot ignore the fact that technology has helped level the playing field for the average man, but at what cost? Perhaps we wouldn't trade our lives to live in more tribal times, but might our lives be filled with more meaning if we did? The way things are looking, AI is rapidly improving, genetic engineering and quantum computing are just over the horizon, digital IDs and currencies are becoming the new norm, knowledge is more open source than ever before, and yet ignorance runs rampant, hatred and division doesn't seem to be getting any better, and the destruction of nature is ongoing. Luckily, humans are good at adapting, and it is likely that history will repeat in the sense that each generation of humans is a guinea pig for the next. It is clear that wealth depends on the industrial system, and thus the wealthy will not push for its demise. Additionally, it would be unwise for a single nation to dispose of its technology, as it would be conquered easily. But there is hope we can maintain a healthy relationship with nature as more and more people push back against the digital world, and as long as we maintain a certain level of freedom, we can each decide how much we depend on the industrial society. Because those at the top benefit the most from large systems, real change has to come from the ground up. But should we return to more basic ways of life, or is our destiny to become more and more synthetic, no less natural than the destiny of the sun rising every morning? Maybe there is a nice balance between the use of advanced technology and life amongst nature, and it is up to us to find it. The future may one day appear predictable. For now, it remains a puzzle. While the quality of life of the average person appears greater every coming century, the history of humanity is a series of hills and valleys. Therefore, the future may get very dark before we reach further global enlightenment. We now have options that not even kings of the past had the luxury of affording, but we must remember unearned comfort is where dreams go to die. As malleable as our minds are, machines do not sleep, and we will likely merge with them. In the meantime, we should focus on becoming more independent of industrial society, work to understand the risks of technological success, be self-aware of how much we consume, and push back against tyranny made possible by technology. We may live in a world foreign to our ancestors, but we are still the same animals.